Greetings and salutations. How's everyone tonight? It is TransTrem Thursday, 5/25/2023, and it is 8:03 p.m. Eastern. So we are ready to get going. We got some chat rolling. We got some guests waiting to come in. And there he is. We have from the Great White North, Mr. Symmetry Trev.
Yay. Cheers, everybody.
What is going on, man?
Another day in paradise, man.
Can't ask for much more, can you?
Right.
What you been up to? Did you work today, or you had another long weekend? Or
I did. I had 3 hours windshield time today, so it wasn't a bad day.
That's always fun, right?
4 hours on site, fixing junk.
Yep. Nothing beats that windshield time, getting paid to drive around.
I had to do a little diversion. There was a snag on the highway, so I had to go into the country and start doing some zigzagging. Save 25 minutes according to the Google map.
Take the scenic route, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you got a lot of mountains and nice scenery up there, right?
Yeah, it was a beauty day, sunshine. Turn on my favorite tune.
Cool, right on.
Quick hit from the dab pen.
So what you saying, the weather's pretty good? What's the temperature in the Tone Shack tonight?
Tone Shack today is at 82.5. I mean, you can't ask for better than that, right?
Wow. It's a little toasty for me, but
Is it?
we appreciate you coming on in. So I see a couple questions in the chat there. R2R3 is not here this evening. He has a son graduating, I believe. So congratulations to R2R3's son, I believe it was. So he's attending the graduation, and he'll probably be ready to go for Sunday. So we'll see him soon. We might have a special guest showing up a little bit later. That's yet to be seen, but we'll see how that works out. So let's go to the chat and see who's here. We have all the way up top. First in looks like was Mr. Mick. How's it going, man? We then have Herb of Fireside Studio. What's going on? Checked out a couple of your videos. Pretty cool stuff, man.
Right?
Yeah. We got Graphite Cigars. We haven't seen you in a while. Welcome back, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, missed you on the weekend, brother.
We have KXM Rock. Good to see you in. We have Dan Gorman is here. Welcome in, Dan. Frank C. Welcome in. Good to see you. Patty Dill. Hello, OU812. Hello, Patty. How's it going?
Patty in the chat.
We've got No Man's Land here. Good to see you again. We've got Stephen Franklin. Still waiting on that Purple Wolfgang.
Cheers, Stephen.
Let's see who else we got. Mr. Dwight Bailey. We have, who else? Let's see, scrolling. Mr. Andy Carson. What's going on? Greetings from Chattanooga Fire Station number 5. Awesome, man. What's that?
Choo-choo. The Chattanooga.
Choo-choo. Isn't that the Chatta? I don't know. Anyway, let's see. We've got, who else? Stephen Franklin said hello to you. William Da Silva is here. Welcome in, William. Good to see you.
He's put out a couple of great videos in the last little while, folks.
Right. You guys go check all these guys out. Let's see. Who else we got? Scrolling. Mr. Ferd Burfel is here. Good to see you. Welcome in. Who else we got? Let's see. I believe that's it. Oh, nope. Getter 1952. What's going on, man? Good to see you in. We have David Agia. Hey, welcome in, man.
Right on.
Mr. David Agia. I hope I'm saying that right. I believe was from down in, was it Chile, Brazil? He has some TransTrem stuff that he's working on. He's building some TransTrems.
Right on.
I can't remember where you're from, so let us know in the chat.
Argentina.
Argentina, there we go.
Buenos Aires, beautiful.
He's been working on some TransTrems. He's had some pictures up on his Instagram of a few that he's completed. I think he's got 5 or 6 of them ready to go.
Excellent. Should I put a link for him then?
I'm not sure what he would like to do.
I'm looking at it now.
Let's see, who else we got? Edwin Crane is here. Welcome in. James G.
Current.
Jimmy Ray Hawkins, welcome. Rob Blackmore official is here. What's going on, Rob?
Good day, Rob.
Let's see who else we got. Buenos Aires from Argentina. Nice. Yeah. Maybe I spoke with him on Instagram a bit. I think it was Instagram, and asked him if he'd like to come on and talk about what he was doing. And says his English isn't that great, but he was going to be getting some information together, and I can kind of share what he's got. So good to see you in here, man. Yeah. Let's see. Where was that? There it is. Hadn't had time to finish it. Hope this week prepare a video. Awesome. That'd be cool, man. Well, as you can see, let's see. Let me make sure. I believe we've got everybody in the chat so far. Obviously, if you haven't been here before, this is TransTrem Thursday. So what I do is I play a couple of riffs on my GL2T replica of the one that Eddie played on Live Without a Net. Obviously, he did some recording with this, and I'm sure that he played it all the time on tour, OU812 tour, I'm sure, played it. And yeah, so very cool trem. What it does is it transposes the strings all to a different key and keeps everything in tune. So yeah.
And that's 5 different settings, right?
I believe so. You've got
2 down, 3 up, or vice versa?
You got the middle setting there, and then you've got up. Let's see, you got 1 and 2 up.
Right.
And then from the middle setting, you then have 1, 2, 3. 3 down.
That's amazing.
So
and
yeah.
now those are going full steps too, right? As opposed to
You know what? I'm embarrassed to say I don't know what the steps are.
I think we figured it out, and that's what I thought it was. It doesn't jump half steps.
Yeah, I think going up 1 is like F sharp, and then all the way up, I think I want to say, is it C? I don't know. I don't know.
Wow.
I just played the damn thing, man.
Yeah, it sounds great.
So there we go. Got a couple more rolling in. We've got Fruitcake Tony's here. Good to see you, brother.
Cheers, Tony. Okay.
Checked out a lot of your Mean Street videos that you had for your the rig rundowns, and watching all that. So good stuff. Everybody check out Fruitcake Tony's channel.
Yeah,
Give him
really enjoyed the new crew on the new day.
Yep, that was a good time. So everybody check out Fruitcake Tony's channel if you haven't. Give him a sub.
His link is in the description.
One of our Van Halen brothers. Yep, down in the
Ryan's
description.
Making my moderating job a little bit easier by putting half a dozen of those links down there.
Yep, for sure. Let's see. Who else is rolling in here? David has a comment. He says, also, there's a little trick. If you calibrate the spring to E flat, you can add another position. Interesting. Something that I did, David, I think this is your first time jumping in. I've got another guitar over there. I haven't messed with it, so it's not ready right now. But I've taken that TransTrem and I've calibrated it to a drop tuning. So I do a drop D in the standard position, and then I've calibrated it so that when I move positions, it stays in that drop, and it's
cool.
Primo. Yep, very, very cool stuff. I had never seen anybody do that. I never heard anybody try it, so I tried it. It worked. And I was like, ooh, man, that's pretty cool.
Yep. You've seen it here first, folks.
Seen it here first, hopefully. I think there's not a lot of TransTrem stuff on YouTube, so that's kind of the whole purpose of the TransTrem Thursday, A lot of people hear these songs.
Rabbit hole.
Yeah, a lot of people hear these songs and they don't really know, that there's a special guitar that's being used for it. So trying to bring the information to the masses. Mm-hmm. I want to have everybody wanting one. Go out and get one. And if we got guys like David making them, we can start putting them on some other guitars. I really, really wish that, Gibson...
Shipping from Argentina is going to suck.
No, come on now.
We'd have to make a road trip, put in a big order, come back with a container full of stuff.
Well, I think it would be worth it. So let's see. What else we got going on tonight? Let's see. We got some comments here. OU812, what is the history on that purchase? I know those are difficult to come by. I had a landmark birthday that was a couple years ago. And as a kid watching Live Without a Net, I always wanted one.
Right.
And, going through the YouTubes, I had noticed
wear
that...
the parachute pants, too?
No, can't find those. Going through YouTube and watching, I saw that there wasn't a whole lot of stuff on YouTube. I saw that Rob Johnson had one. I was jealous. And so the search began for someone to, either on Reverb or something like that. And I came across the website headlessusa.com. And I got in touch with Don, was his name. He's passed away since. But he had a lot of history and just information about the Steinberger guitars. He used to be a dealer years ago when Steinberger was being sold, and he had become a collector of any that he could find. People would call and sell them to him. I'm pretty sure he probably scoured around and he bought some that needed to be refurbished and that type of thing. So Headless USA is still going, and they still have them. If you are really, really interested in one, you could probably contact them, and they could get one restored up for you, or they may have one ready to go. They've got a Reverb store, but they don't post very many. And when they do, they go quick. The GL2Ts do. They've got some other guitars that are TransTrem, that have the TransTrem on them. Some of the, the wing style bodies and so forth. But for this one, I got in touch with Don. I got this one. He had one that was in what he called mint condition, and it had been gone through, and I think it was refretted. They did the EVH0 mod on the frets, and they also sell a replacement faceplate. This plate right here comes off with these screws that are on the back. It's kind of hard to see. So they sell a replacement faceplate. So I bought it with the original faceplate, which I still have. Has the original pickups in it and the original, the whole thing. I can pull it off, put the other one on, plug it in, and it's ready to go. Yeah. So if I ever want to return this to original, I can. So the replacement faceplate, I had artist friend of mine paint it up, and there we go.
That's great.
Yeah, I had always wanted one, so I figured that for my milestone birthday that I was having, I was going to treat myself to it. And I'm glad I did. This is probably the best guitar that I have ever played. I've played some good ones, but if there were one that I could keep, only one, this would be it, just for what it can do.
Island guitar. So
Yeah.
When I go to our local Lone Wolf McQuaid, and they have Steinbergers, these spirits. They're like $600 Canadian all day. So,
Yep.
And it's it's a totally different beast, though. Obviously, right? There's no TransTrem on it. It's just got the headless thing and
it's totally different. It's a wooden body, and it's a completely different route for the trims that they use on those. I think they call that an S trim that's on there. If you find a guitar that has the R trim, I think the R trim and the TransTrem are compatible to replace with each other. So if you find one with an R, you can drop a TransTrem right in. I believe that's correct. David, are you listening? Is that correct? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else we got going on in the chat here?
Tyler Johnson Guitar just came in through the kitchen door.
Who do we got?
Tyler Johnson
there he is.
Guitar.
Tyler Johnson Guitar. Welcome in, man. Let's see what we got. Everybody saying hello to everybody.
Yeah.
Gitter1952 said that's the first I've heard of them. Very cool. So my job is done. Thanks everybody for coming out. We'll see. Let's see.
David's saying that they are interchangeable. You confirmed.
Okay. So the R trim and the TransTrem are interchangeable. Yeah, I thought that was correct. Thank you, David. Let's see. Zach Thong is here. Almost missed you there, Zach. Welcome in. Saying hello to OU812 and Symmetry.
Right on.
Let's see. Anybody else sneaking in?
So
Don't see anybody.
$620 for a little Steinberger, and it's got the R trim on it. So then you just got to find a TransTrem that someone's willing to part with.
Mm-hmm.
That's the $5,000 link.
Those guitars, even with the R trim, those can get pretty pricey and hard to find as well. So I don't know. You just got to search for it, and you got to really want one.
Yeah.
Let's see. They are interchangeable. Okay, I'm catching up. Hey, now we got Jay in the house. Welcome in, Jay. Good to see you.
7 over 8.
Had a really
Send him a
good
link.
time last Saturday over on the Under the Bus network.
Was
So
a hoot, man. It was a
once
really
again,
good
if you
Saturday
guys,
night.
yeah, that was awesome. If you guys haven't checked them out, go check them out at Under the Bus Network. Give them a sub, and let's help all of the Van Halen and the community keep growing their channels. Speaking of growing the channels, I hit 700 subs, so we are steadily climbing. I appreciate everybody's support that comes out, hangs out, and hopefully you're enjoying all the content. Let's
There's a
see,
white
anybody
one in
else?
Kamloops. That's 4 hours away, 5 hours away.
Who's it in Kamloops?
A white Steinberger with an R-trim.
Oh,
It's $580 Canadian all day long.
really? And it's a Spirit?
That's, yeah. Or at least it was in stock until I shared this with you guys.
Yeah, maybe I'm getting that wrong then. This whatever trim comes on the Spirit is not interchangeable, so maybe I've got that backwards. It's a S trim,
Patented
R trim.
R-trim tremolo with a 40-to-1 ratio direct pull systems.
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of the S trim. I'm not sure. Everybody's got Google, right? Go Google it. Let's see. Who else is sneaking in? We got the Axe is here. Welcome in. Good to see you. And let's see.
Ryan Hall, good to see you, Buffalo brother.
Ryan Hall, yeah, man. Welcome in. Good to see you.
He's in Alabama with Mom. Say hi to Mom for him.
Yeah, hope she's doing well. So, yep, say hi to her. Like I said, we may have a special guest coming, but we got a few things to talk about first. Yesterday, anybody know what yesterday was? Anniversary of something? OU812 released all those years ago yesterday.
All right. Happy birthday to you.
What's in the chat? What's everybody's favorite tunes off of OU812?
1988. That was a good year.
Yeah.
I
We
find
talked
most
about
years
this,
that end in double-digit numbers are usually good years.
right? 88,
99.
5, 20, 24, 88. This was released.
11.
Is that right?
22. Yeah. That's
Talked a little.
right.
We talked a little bit about this when I was over on Fruitcake Tony's show. I know Fruitcake Tony said his favorite was All Fired Up. I got to go with the Black and Blue and maybe
I was going to say.
the
same
Cabo
thing.
Wabo. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff on here. Let's see what you guys are saying in the. There we go. The S-trem and TransTrems are interchangeable. Yeah.
That makes more sense at
Yeah.
that price point.
Yeah, so whatever trim is on that Spirit is not interchangeable. You can route those out. I've seen somebody try it. I don't know how well that would work, but you know,
Table right there.
Right.
The number. Dial it in.
get to work, man.
Do it for science.
All right, we got Andy Carson. He says All Fired Up naturally is his.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me scroll back up here a little bit. The Axe. Yep, he's saying Black and Blue. Finish what you started is good. Black and Blue is my favorite, says Tyler Johnson Guitar. Yeah, Tony, we know yours is All Fired Up. He's talking about he'd get in the car sometimes and he would just skip to it. Number 3, right? Track 3. Let's see. Andy Carson says All Fired Up. Excuse me. Rob Blackmore Official, When It's Love. Frank C. is wishing they would remaster that record. You never know. You know, there's some talks about all this stuff being remastered and re-released. You know, they did the Right Here, Right Now. They started with that one. The live, what was it, four vinyls? So that's cool. You got Hip Metalworks coming in. What's going
Easy,
on,
brother.
Ken?
Cheers, man.
Good to see you. Let's see. Excuse me. William De Silva says, I don't think I could name a single song. Know that much about the albums. Hey, just listen to them and enjoy them, man.
Here you go. You got to feel so good. Mine, all mine. Finish what you started.
Jay says, "Mine, all mine" might be Sammy's most meaningful lyrics during his Van Halen days. Yeah, that was probably the first thing I noticed about the album when I bought it was the lyrics. Excuse me, to that song. I was like, that's different. You know, it was very un-Van Halen like, I guess I could say. It was one of those songs where you listen to it, for me anyway. Excuse me just a minute. Sorry about that. For me, it was one of those songs that you listen to it once and you're like, I don't know about that one. And then you listen to it a few more times and you really start getting into the groove of it. And yeah, I liked it. Let's see. Stephen Franklin likes Cabo Wabo and Sucker in a 3-piece. Let's see. This year was the 35th anniversary, maybe 40th. I don't know, how long was that? That's too long for me to do math. I'm terrible at math.
Today.
I can ask Siri.
It's got to be somebody in there born in 88.
Right? I know, I graduated right around... No.
I was 19, so...
Mm-hmm. So what are you now? Like 75 or something like that?
53. Be 54 next month.
Oh, man. Speaking of birthdays, you know, Ben Coombs had one. What was it? Was it Monday? It was his birthday?
Yeah, that's right.
So big happy birthday to Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's see. Ryan Hall, finish what you started. When Graphite and Cigar says, when Rob Blackmore official is talking about when it's love, cover your asses.
Back to the wall. Keep it back to the wall.
Yeah, the mix on the OU812, a lot of people were unhappy with. Andy says the bass is non-existent. Were we really listening to it for the bass, though? I mean, you can hear Ed's guitar, right? So, yeah. 7/8 says, will never happen, though. According to Sammy, they are remastering the Van Hagar era. Isn't this Van Hagar era?
Isn't he contradicting himself in the same sense?
I'm pretty sure that's Sammy right there, right? Hagar? Oh, well. I guess maybe Jay's been... Wham Bam Amsterdam. I think that's the wrong album, right?
Mm-hmm. But William De Silva was saying that's one of his favorite Eddie songs. And he was asking which album, and he got the replies.
Gotcha.
Required.
Let's see. Jay says, take it away, Schmitty.
That's when you paused for a second to take a sip.
Oh, gotcha. Thought he was waiting for you to break out the guitar and start jamming.
Might happen. We're turned on.
Yep.
We're plugged in.
All right, I'm catching up, I promise. Yeah, there we go. Amsterdam's on balance. Let's see.
An awesome tour. That was the one time I got to see Van Halen live. Was the Balance tour.
You know, my favorite, well, we're kind of getting off topic, but my favorite off of Balance has got to be Baluchitherium, the instrumental.
Yeah. Both you and John gave that answer, what was it, in Pete's chat on Sunday? At the exact same time. It was like, bam, bam.
Yep. Yeah,
You know who's paying attention.
See you, Andy. Thanks for stopping in.
Stay safe, brother. Good luck.
Yeah, Tyler's got a good point. Michael Anthony's vocals are more valuable to the mix than his bass.
I would say.
Yep. They need to remaster Balance, says the Axe.
Well, if they're going to do the whole Van Hagar era, that'd be a deluxe box set, wouldn't it?
Yep. Fruitcake Tony has a really good point that OU812 needs the most attention of the Sammy stuff. I would probably agree with that. Let's see. Oh, it's Quentin James. Welcome in, Quentin.
My
you want
hero.
to jump in, dude?
He saved a kid's life today.
Did he?
You didn't see
That's
that on
awesome.
Facebook?
I didn't see that one yet. No.
This kid ran out on the road in front of his car, and it was like inches away.
Wow.
Good job on the brakes, Quentin.
Let me Let me find, I think I've got Quentin's email in here. I'm going to send you a link, Quentin. If you want to jump in, you can jump in. If not, that's fine too. Let's see. You can tell us a story about what happened.
Well, if he comes in, then we could maybe play it, his little video that he put up of the dash cam video. It was quite an asshole puckering experience just watching it. I couldn't imagine being behind the wheel.
Can't imagine, yeah. Let's see. Of course, I think he's got me blocked. I emailed him the other day and he never answered me back. Let's see. All right,
Sean
I just
Rocky, welcome to the party, brother.
Just sent you an email with a link, Quentin, if you want to jump in and tell us that story. I'm interested to hear about it. Let's see. Now, yeah, Rob's got a good point there, Graphite. He says if he had said, finish what you started. Tyler thinks that Carnal Knowledge was the best produced Sammy album. I don't know.
I'm a 5150 fellow. I really,
you know,
especially that song.
I just like them all. I like them all.
Fair enough.
Sean Hockey says, hey, Ryan and Trev, what's up, guys? Just got done with band practice. Awesome, man. Welcome in. Good to see you.
Yeah. He put up a video of him jamming out a new pedal, I think. It was pretty
Very cool. Have to check that one out. Jay says, after Balance was released, Michael Anthony was interviewed and said they were thinking about remixing OU812. Obviously never happened. Obviously. Let's see. What else we got going on? Fruitcake Tony says, Balance is the Sammy era's best, according to him. I don't know. I you know, according to the, based on the mix, I guess.
Well, I think people are going to have their favorites, and a lot of that's based on environmental conditions, you know.
Yeah.
When you were having those good times, what was the soundtrack that was along with those good times?
Soundtrack of your life, yeah.
5150 for me.
Yeah.
You know, in the Camaro with the arm out the window, laying rubber down at every stoplight, it's just...
Yeah, 5150, I think I was in 9th grade, and then OU812 came out, and I got a car, and OU812 was, I believe, the first thing that I put into the player in my car that I got. And I may have talked about this. I had a Mustang 69 Fastback, and I folded the seats down in the back. And you remember those big kicker speakers that you put behind a truck seat? They were real thin, and you put them behind your truck seat. I had those laying in the back of the Mustang, and I had a little EQ thing, little EQ booster, and man, I'm just rocking out to the OU812.
Right on.
Let's see. Tim Thomas has snuck in. How's it going, Tim? Good to see you.
Cheers, brother. That's worth a shot.
Mm-hmm. Jay's agreeing with you there about the soundtrack of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So what else is going on? There we go. Frank C says, when it comes to Van Hager, I say I'll have a piece of each.
It's a good attitude.
What was that one song where he says, let's all have some of that? Man, why can't I think of the name of that song? That was off 5150, wasn't it? Let me look real quick. Good enough. Good enough is what I'm thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, there we go. No, Mr. Anslin answered for me. So, it's not OU812 bass, but speaking of 5150, I'm going to try something tonight. I'm going to see how it goes.
Yay.
I don't know how the mix will be. I don't know. I've practiced this just a little bit tonight. But let's see what happens, hey? I'm going to try it now. How many we got in here? 35?
35
I think we can do that. We need some more thumbs up, though. I mean,
You want to do a poll?
I could do a poll. What would we do a poll about?
Should Ryan play the mystery song? Or should we wait?
I think
we should play it.
I think we know what
Everybody wants to hear it.
what that would happen. What that would happen there. Yeah. Let me refresh over here. Let me refresh my browser.
Tyler Johnson. Spoilers.
All right, let me get ready for this. You guys ready? You wanna hear this?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how much of it I'll do, but hell, I'm getting copyright strikes
We'll
anyway.
take what
So
we can get.
let's go, right? Okay, I have completely screwed that up. I was not prepared. Take two.
Take two?
Yeah. Talk about nervous. I think that's the first time I've played that actually kind of live. So, hopefully it sounded pretty good. Hopefully it sounded pretty good.
Great, man.
Awesome.
Fuck yeah, that was
awesome.
awesome.
Hope all you guys enjoyed that.
There's a lot of positive energy coming from the chat.
Cool. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Man, I was nervous, making mistakes, and hopefully it all kind of got hidden in there. So,
yeah.
That was fun.
Well done,
brother. I wasn't going to play that much. I haven't learned the solo to that song, so I just kind of, whatever. But that was fun. I enjoyed that. Hope you guys did too.
Right on.
Yeah, there's nothing like, where I see this one right here. Yeah,
Kurt heard the Summer Nights and he snuck in.
Say what?
Kurt snuck in as soon as he...
Oh, welcome in, Kurt. Good to see you.
5150 time.
Yeah, the TransTrem changes, man. The changes that he came up with on these songs, it's just awesome. They just sound so good. Yeah.
Where if you time it right, you get those second gear chirps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Such a fun little guitar to play, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh. I've put a lot of time and effort into the rig, so hopefully you guys enjoy it as much as I do.
Paying off in spades. You're spreading the love and the smiles, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Somebody saying hello to Music Therapy Laz. What's going on, Laz? You in here somewhere?
He's in here. He's going to be lurking. He's doing something with his ma.
Yeah.
And apparently there's no show tonight, so no time limit for us.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. So, yeah, no worries with that. I missed your cue, man.
That's what she said.
There we go. A little late on it. But, we have somebody waiting at the door.
Oh, please be Quentin
Shall we get him on in here?
James. Please be Quentin James.
Should we get him on in here? Should I do a poll to see if we should bring him in?
No, just let him in.
Let's get him on in here. Mr. Quentin effing James. Oh, my God.
I did almost say earlier that, pants optional, but then I thought about, hey, he'll take us up on that. So.
What is going on, Mr. Quentin?
Good to see you, brother.
Hey, it's Quentin James. What's going on?
What's going on, dude?
God damn, I'm good.
Man, that thing sounds awesome. What is that? Your Digitech RPX 83479478842 LGBTY?
Yeah, that's it. The Mark II version.
The Mark II. I forgot the Mark II.
What's up,
What?
kid?
Man, we were just hanging out, doing a little show.
I think you all heard I didn't kill a little girl yesterday.
Yeah, what's the story with that? Were you were actually recording? You had a little short or something you put up? I haven't seen it yet.
No, I'll put the whole video up. So I'm coming back home from McDonald's because I wanted a McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
So I'm cruising down my street in my apartment complex, which has does it help when I do this? It has parking on street parking, right?
Hmm.
Does it help when I do that?
Sure, yeah.
So anyway, there's always a lot of kids around, and I'm probably doing 20, 25 maybe. And this fucking little girl she's running from her dad. She's probably 6 or 7 or she runs out between two cars right in front of me, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was probably, it's funny. I've got the anti-lock brakes on the little Hyundai, and those fuckers. I hit that brake pedal so hard that you hear it screeching.
Yeah, they locked up.
And she was probably 6 inches from my bumper. I turned to the left and locked them up. And it's funny. The first thing you hear after you hear the brake squeaking is me going, "Fuck!"
I bet.
And then the mom comes up and she's all apologizing. And then the dad comes up and he offers me a beer and some fucking weed. Or he offers me a doobie Hey,
Oh, Lord.
you want a beer, man?
Maybe,
Some beer for
maybe
not
you'll hit the next
beer?
one.
I'm like, nah, dude, that's okay. I don't drink. Doobie, you want a doobie? You're giving me a doobie for not hitting your kid?
Wow.
The fuck's wrong with you?
That's crazy.
Dude, I just went home and threw up, man.
I bet. Yeah. Probably heart was racing and
Oh my god.
pounding out of your chest, and probably hard to drive
Shorts
home.
after that.
I mean, the whole thing with the dash camera is to, get me getting killed at the Ghetto Kroger intersection, or
Right.
because there's a camera pointing out front and then one out the back, and it's
Right.
got really good audio on it too, so you'll hear the whole conversation of me and the two parents. And
Yeah, I haven't caught that. I'll have to go
Okay,
check
if I
that
post
out.
a link in the chat, I have the video queued up if you want to
yeah,
play
go
it.
ahead, man. Go ahead.
Can we play it here?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. You won't give us a copyright strike.
No. Well, now there is.
But the music, there's some
yeah,
music
song.
playing.
Yeah, there is music playing.
Well, not that
was
matters
it,
now. I just played a whole freaking Van Halen song right off their album. Pretty
Yeah,
much,
that's
so.
true. And I played some bad.
Was it Fate No More? I think it was.
Look at there. As soon as Quentin shows up, who jumps in the chat here? R2, R3.
Dude, I
What's
was
going
thinking
on, R2?
of, I don't know why I was thinking of Jay Hannon, because Jay's
Aren't we all always thinking of Jay Hannon?
Well, his little girl went through that scare, man. That was just.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know Jay. He doesn't know me, but he finally talked about it on the show, and it was terrifying.
Mm.
He just kept on saying what happened here, and then the next week, and I was like, I would lose my fucking mind. I would lose my mind. So, Ellie, glad you're okay.
Right on.
Yeah, go ahead and play it, man.
Presented.
Oh,
You, Ryan.
sorry. Waiting on me.
John DeShane checking in from the fencing. Here we go.
All right. What's up, John? All right, here we go.
That's not me in my car, by the way.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Jesus.
Almost killed
That just made my
little girl.
heart sink just watching that.
Right? Come out of nowhere.
This just happened. That many. Okay.
Wow.
Dad run after her. She ran behind the car.
Oh man,
It was
that's
right
crazy.
there.
And she knows she's in the shit right now. She knows shit.
She like slams on her brakes. Man.
Look at that. Almost fucking hit her.
So there was two people that chased her after
There's the
that.
fucking edge of my car right there.
That's
Look at her.
crazy,
She's like,
man.
oh, fuck.
Yeah, she
That's
put her arm
crazy.
out like, oh shit.
Dropped her
Well,
shit, takes off running. Here comes Dad running out the other side of the car.
Wow. Thank goodness you were able to stop. Jeez. She didn't seem too worried.
I know, right? Let me get the iPad.
Yeah.
I'm
Can't
just
leave
like,
that
dude,
iPad out there.
I was ready
Wow.
to fucking just, I was ready to throw up.
Man, that's crazy.
I am so.
Let me know how far you want to go. We got.
If I killed your
Yeah.
It takes a minute before Dad comes up and offers me some weed.
dude, thank. No, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I didn't hit your fucking kid, man.
You
I'm
fucking
got
kid.
pissed right there, too.
You want to see the.
Man, oh man.
Oh my god, dude!
Yeah.
I mean, I could be sitting. I'd be in the hospital. They'd have to fucking sedate me.
Man, I can't imagine. If
Right?
anybody else wants to see the rest of that, you got to go to Quentin's channel.
Yeah.
Give him a
The
sub.
link's in the chat. Here, we can post it again.
I had a little dream about it last night, so I'll have fucking nightmares about it for a while. So
Scary
Apparently
stuff.
your car is in the chat.
Quentin James Hyundai, best brakes in the business. I hope Quentin James Hyundai subscribed to my channel.
Oh,
Is it
Oh
701?
man,
that's got to be Kurt 5150 or something.
there ain't no telling. Ain't no
Bub.
telling. Guitar Man 45, welcome in. How's it going, bro? Oh shit, we got somebody else at the door. Let's get him in here. We have Mr. Throb Johnson.
Johnson. Right on.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's happening, Rob?
Not too much. Hey, we got
How's-
another one here. Barney, got to make an appearance.
Oh,
What's up, Barney?
Attaboy. There you go.
He's ready to go
What's
eat some
happening,
more.
everybody?
Man, we were just chilling, just jamming, just chatting,
Guys,
seeing what's going on,
almost killed a little kid yesterday.
sharing
I do that
his
every day.
sharing his
And then-
story and his video.
You're a cop, right?
Well, I'm a retired cop. But
Oh.
yeah,
Look,
that's
you'll,
2 years
you'll
ago.
like that the father of the little girl offered me a beer and some weed for not hitting his little girl. I'm like, hey, you don't have any meth or something? Some heroin? I mean, come on, almost killed your kid. Cough it up.
Man, that's
Fucking
crazy.
father of the year.
I used to do that all the time.
My
That's
father
it.
was chief of police. I don't know if you knew.
I did not know that.
And here's another little tidbit. I'm not going to say what. Quentin James actually worked in law enforcement. I'm not going to say what. But
Emptying meters.
Is it one of those if you told us you'd have to kill us kind of things?
That's right. He was the ballistics guy.
I was a target.
Oh shit! Look who we got. Boner Jams
Jello.
is in the chat. Welcome in,
That
Boner.
reminds me, I forgot to switch to live chat, folks. If you want to see Boner Jams and his messages.
If you want to see the Boner, you got to switch to live.
Now,
Good to
I'll
see
tell
you,
you
Brother
the story
James.
about my law enforcement career.
Yeah.
My father being chief of police, and not for the city of Louisville, city of St. Matthews, smaller department. He hired me, I was 19. He hired me to be a dispatcher. So I go in and train for one day. And after one day, I went, I do not want this response. This is way too much responsibility to be a dispatcher. It's not just like,
Oh, it's crazy. I know.
oh, dude, no. I was like, no. No.
I know.
So I technically worked in law enforcement for one day and I quit.
No, I know. I know what you mean. Hey, Trev, how you doing, my friend?
Good, man. Good. Good to see you.
Good. And Mr. Quentin James. Quentin fucking James. That's what it is.
That's right.
That's right.
I missed
Or
you missed
Quentin
my
James
intro, I
Hyundai.
think.
I'm still tripping on Kurt's post the other day with the dick pics. You know, the dick pics, and everybody's going, "Oh, mine's bigger, mine's wider, or whatever." And I go, "Chicks love dick pics, especially unsolicited ones."
Oh,
Right. Hear about it
Oh
later.
man.
I send those all the time, all day long. I just send unsolicited dick pics.
To clarify, what Rob,
Random ladies, they love it.
if nobody knows what Rob's talking about, you're not familiar. Kurt had a
My girlfriend's
post
laughing
on
over here, by the way.
on Facebook with a pic, and it said "dick" on it, so it was a dick pic.
Yeah.
So there we go.
And I said, chicks love those, like
No,
especially unsolicited ones.
this is coming from the man whose last name is Johnson.
Jones.
No, it's
I know, right?
Johnson, as Jay
Like,
would say.
like he's never heard that one before. Yeah.
But my
All right.
nickname, okay, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a tidbit that I don't think anybody's ever heard, even back from the Johnny Bean, Dave Nesdahl, rest in peace, my good friend. I don't think anybody's ever heard this. My full name is Robert Cleveland Johnson Jr. I'm a junior. So my middle name is Cleveland, like the city, Cleveland, Ohio. So when I was like 2 years old, 2 years old, my parents used to call me Beaver, like Leave It to Beaver. That was my name. All the way from 2 years old up until graduating high school, I was Beaver. That was my name because my parents, Beaver Cleaver, Cleveland, middle name. So that's a little tidbit that I don't think anybody's ever heard about me. And my mom and dad to this day still call me Beav, whatever.
The beef.
One of the people are the Beav, yeah. Where's Wally, right? But so when I was in high school, the thing was, beaver. Well, because I got plenty of it. So not in high school. In college, yeah, a little more.
Well, I think you have made it official. You have announced what you got going on. Or am I getting ahead of myself here?
Well, I mean, it's not quite that hard yet, but what do I got going on?
That's what she said.
I don't know.
You need some ice cubes.
You have announced that you've got a guitar for sale. Let's put it that way.
Oh, it's sold. It's already gone.
Oh, it's gone. Okay.
Yeah, it's gone.
Well, I'm glad I don't feel bad now for forgetting to put the pictures into the stream.
Oh, Ryan, I'm sorry, I forgot. I forgot. No, I you said jump on tonight, and I said, yeah, great. No, it sold 2 days ago, but yeah, Beaver Johnson, yes. Oh, the axe says Beaver Johnson. Oh my God, it's like a throwback. But,
Kurt's getting a laugh out of something.
Yeah, Kurt's getting a laugh out of something. I got a little bit of interesting news. So I am working on.
What's going on, Mike?
The guitar that I sold. I have a little bit. We're going to see in the chat who can figure out what the new build is. So if anybody that's watched, the Kramer 5150 Facebook page, there's a couple. So I'm going to give everybody a little bit of a clue. So here's the first clue. Yellow ground wire. All right.
We should all be familiar with where that goes.
You're right. There's another clue. What kind of Floyd Rose post is this? What looks different about this than the regular ones? Looks like the cap is like real thick, tall, right? Looks like a proto.
That's what she said.
Floyd Rose post, right? Yeah, right. Okay. Another one. What's this? String tree. Looks like kind of a rare one, right?
Pretty heavy duty.
Looks like the real one.
And hold on, before I just like completely pull my pants down.
See you, Jimmy.
What's this?
Got all the good
What kind
stuff.
of bar is that? What kind of bar is that? I was born in Boston, so what kind of bar is that? Who knows what I'm building right now? And
In
I
the chat.
already have one. Kurt. Oh, all right. Kurt, because he knows, because he's like spoils everything. All right? I am doing another 5150, a 1988 version, because my 5150 now is the current version. And thanks to our good friend Jerry Leica, I have a whale tail, another one, a whale tail FRT5 bridge for the offset logo. You can tell the logo is like, it's like off to the side.
I'm a little stupid. Why do they call it a whale tail? I'm sorry for asking. I don't know.
No, you're not stupid at all. It's a great question. It's a valid question because the base is like longer and more boxy, and this part here almost looks like a whale's tail.
Oh, okay.
It almost looks like if you look at it, it's much bigger. The whole dynamics of everything is bigger.
Yeah.
Now the other things are on a regular Floyd Rose. See these little like oval. Where the screws go in, they're oval.
Yeah.
The regular German Floyds, they're squared.
Okay.
When they're rounded like that, that's either an FRT5 or FRT7. The saddles are shorter and they're more boxy looking, and the blocks inside are T blocks, so they don't fall out. You can shake them; they don't fall. I don't know why Floyd Rose ever got away from that. The fine tuners are brass, and they have this big ass, huge steel block.
Wow.
Which is like sustain on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
Brass blocks are great, but the big steel blocks, I'm telling you, they're amazing. And if you look at it from the side, there's no you can tell
spring.
screws are just kind of like, and every German Floyd that I have, I take all that garbage off because they're useless. They don't do anything. They rob tone, and I don't know why Floyd ever did that. Because once you have, they're loose here, but once you have tension on the springs, they're tight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is when you take the spring tensioners off and the little finger springs, what happens is the base right here sits flush on the body, and you get that nice, resonance out of it. So, anyways, this is a Michael McGuire period correct FRT5 bridge. I've got a few of them, anyways. I got a real one on my other 5150, but so this is going to go on the new 88 version that I have.
Very nice.
So, kind of some cool stuff, I guess.
Yeah. Are you going to have progression pictures that you share with everybody?
Oh yeah.
All right,
So
cool.
I got all the parts. I just talked to Sean from Pariah yesterday, and he set me up with a PS86 pickup. I was going to go with the Duncan JB or the JBJ or whatever. But I said, I'd like to give Sean from Pariah, the business, because he does great work, and I got my other 5150. So I got the the PS86 coming in. I have all the hardware, tuners, and all the other stuff I got coming from Mike from Period Correct, and the body and neck. I want to be very careful how I say this because he was a really good friend of mine. I haven't been able to talk to Chris in over a year, and I know there's a lot of weird stuff going on with him and all that and some stuff. So I've worked really hard to stay out of all that because Chris and I were really good friends. But one of the gentlemen that bought a 5150 body and neck, lock body and lock neck, one of the new Donnie Ward necks where, we put the wings on and everything, the dowels for the tuner holes and everything.
Right.
He got the body and neck in, and Chris Hubbard sent him the body and neck. And I guess it took a little while, but during that time, he decided to do another project. So he reached out to me and said, "Is something you want?" And I said, "Sure, it's an opportunity to do an 88, version." So the only thing I'll show you guys is just a picture of the body. So this is the body I got coming.
Nice.
And it's about an 88 version. You can see it's got the darkened kind of graphite dirt and everything in there.
Yep.
So, stay tuned because there's going to be a 88 version of the 5150 coming.
Very cool. Kurt is asking if you're going to do the Blue Borns pot or an EVH pot.
So it's I got the Blue Borns pot coming for this one.
Cool.
It's kind of unknown. I mean, we know back in 1984 that the 5150 had the Blue Borns pot, the box, low friction pot. We don't know when that changed because in 84, Eddie didn't have a cavity cover on the back of the 5150. He had the table tray and everything for the piano style stuff. But there's no, we don't really know. It could even have it in there today. We just don't know, really. There's probably a couple folks that know. So I figured being, 1984, 1988, I was going to go with that just because the odds are that possibly it still had that in there. So that's what I went for with for the pot. Kurt says, "I screwed my body up so bad. Walt told me so." Kurt, you did a great job. You did a great job on it. Buddy.
Agreed.
I don't know. He had a couple of lines that were a few millimeters off, according to Walt. So
a couple of little stripes, a little off. So that like this, it's disqualified.
No,
Rob
I'm
will
more
appreciate this.
wondering
I happen to have a pedal laying here, and I happen to have a magazine laying here. I don't know why they're. But Guitar Hack sent me the. Lawrence Petroff sent me that, the LPD 87.
good things.
I've heard a lot of good things about that pedal.
That's a great pedal. But I do have an issue with Rob here. Can you present Rob?
Sure.
All right, buddy.
Uh-oh. I'm getting nervous now.
If you look over Rob's left shoulder, and how he hangs his paper towels backwards.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So it's my toilet paper is exactly the same, and everybody tells me that I'm back. What?
I got to block your shit.
Not wrong. I am not wrong.
Yeah,
I do it the same way, Rob.
We're kicking Rob out of here. Yeah, that's just horrible. We can't have that.
It keeps it out of the way. It's not like, it's not like in your face, like messed up when it gets ridiculous. It's back there. It's kind of Quentin, I love you to death, dude. Thank you so much for bringing that up.
I can't believe
It's
that
the
you
little
noticed
things
that.
I notice. It's like being a cop. You notice all the little things that
yes.
people don't notice, right?
You
Yes,
didn't notice that little
100%.
girl that ran out.
100%.
No, apparently R2 has left. He said apparently the wife is having some girlfriends over, and he's going to be taking a bath, and they're going to be bobbing for apples. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like a party to me.
Mm. Well, have fun with that, R2.
Yeah.
Let's see what.
Yeah, that's what R2's doing tonight.
We want to see video, or it didn't happen.
Right. We need to see some shorts.
Yeah. We're looking for those on Sunday.
Let's see what everybody is saying in the chat here.
Oh, the
let's see.
chat's a little.
Robert Radford showed up. I think he came in through a window somewhere. Good to see
Did
you,
he?
Robert.
Oh, we got Fairfield Guitars here. What's up, Lewis?
Lewis.
Alan
Good
Garber's
brother.
That is Rob Johnson.
Alan
Or
Garber's
is-
howdy. I'm here for the beefcake vibe. Rob, what's up, Alan? How you doing, buddy?
Steve-O5150, welcome in. He says Rob Throb Johnson.
Rob.
I can't believe this. Rob comes in on the show and we jump up to 44 people watching. So you got something going on, Rob.
And we go right from like being like where we're supposed to be to totally pornographic, like instantaneous, like that.
I see that 7/8 guy is in here. Did he ever get that guitar issue figured out with Glary or whatever? There was the wrong color or something. He ordered a Glary custom shop or something.
I heard he sent it back.
Yeah, I think he sent it back. Yep. Who did I miss? Robert Ranford, what's going on, man? Welcome in. Janice is here as well. Welcome in, Janice.
Hey, Janice.
Michael B.
how are you?
Live. Welcome in, Mike.
59 watching.
See, we got
50.
Yeah, I
That
need
could be
one more.
Jay's middle name. Jay, I send it back Hannon.
We got Josh Randall coming in. Nice to see you. We got Garbage is here.
Alan
Here
Garber.
for the music. Rob is too pretty for me.
Yeah. I want to
So-
give a plug real quick to Alan Garber. I mean, if anybody is, I got to give, I mean, I've never met him, personally, but Alan Garber, I got to say, if anybody is looking at a guitar player who like absolutely does what I do with the replica guitars, trying to make everything perfect and always tweaking stuff, this guy, it can be the Live Without a Net Eddie Van Halen guitar solo. It can be like Feel Your Love Tonight. It can be I'm the One. It can be any Van Halen song. This guy, he not only takes the tablature that's out there, but he looks at it and he studies it, and he actually does his homework. And not only with what tablature out there is incorrect and whatever, he puts everything together in a package, and he also gets the tunings right. He gets it right down to the cents. So if anybody wants to like learn how to play Van Halen songs, specifically the solos, exactly how they are on the album, not live, because Eddie always does things differently live, and plays in different tunings. That's great. But if anybody wants to get it exactly like it is on the album, go on VH Links and look at Garbage's posts. I'm telling you, Alan's been nailing it for years, and I learned so much from watching his stuff. And him and I chat once in a while. But keep it up, dude. You do a great job.
Very cool.
No doubt.
It's spot on. Seriously.
VHlinks.com. And
It's
then
been
where do
around
you,
for many years.
yeah. And then where do you find where he's at?
So if you go to vhlinks.com, you go to the forums section at the top.
Oh, and
And
he's
then
just
there's
hanging
a whole
out.
bunch of, yeah, and you scroll down and go to Guitar Room, I think it is, and then you'll see Alan, Alan Garber, garbage, and he's got so many posts on, different tablatures, and he writes everything out. And not only that, he does videos, and he shows videos on how to play the stuff. And he's also got an Ibanez Destroyer that's painted white, just like Eddie's was back in '77 before he, painted it silver and did the, stripe job and the maroon and everything. He's got one of the real deals. Pretty freaking
Very cool.
Just posted a link to his channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
Got some good stuff
everybody-
there. Actually
everybody
looking
check
at
it
that
out.
Destroyer right now.
I'll have to go in and
Robert
get it
Bradford
later.
talks about how Alan goes into like what angle you need to strike the strings at.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
First of all, Eddie holds his pick like that. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Stop it.
Yeah, I know.
Or you got the Marty Friedman hand thing, you know, like.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't talk enough about Eddie's rhythm. Eddie had swing and skank, and I can't even find a good adjective for it. That you just can't. I've tried to learn a few songs. You just can't reproduce his swing, swagger.
Yep.
You know.
It's just all about the feel that naturally comes out, you know, of the person's rhythm, and it's hard to duplicate that.
I know Ted Nugent and Nuno Betancourt both said they were at a show with Ed, and Ed says, here's my guitar, here's my live rig play. And they're like, they played it and they sounded exactly like themselves.
Yep.
Like Billy Corgan too. Billy Corgan did the same thing in '96. You know.
I'm sorry, guys, it's right there.
Yeah,
for sure. Yep. It's all, you know, it all comes down to how much pressure you're putting on the string.
Yeah.
You know, the vibrato you've got, and like you were saying, the angle of your pick attack and everything. That all those little small pieces add up to that, you know, distinct tone. It's like a fingerprint.
And he used didn't he? I don't know. He used a medium pick, like a 77 or something like that.
See it, Kurt?
Anybody know? I'm sure y'all know. I use these little, it's a Dunlop H3. It's like a 1.14 with a sharp tip, and
those are Jazz 3s.
That's a tiny bit bigger than a Jazz 3. But no matter what I'm playing, I have like that much pick hanging out.
Yeah.
You see it. So like pitch harmonics are really easy to get.
You got your what hanging out?
I can't hold like a pick like that much hanging out.
So you get a bit of callus on your thumb and your finger too then, right? I mean, that's kind of how it happens to me. I notice a lot of...
Cock out with your cock out, right?
See you, Lewis.
I definitely get like my fingertips are. Well, I've been playing for fucking 40 years. So. But this guitar, by the way, I got this. I needed something with a Floyd on it. It's a Schecter. It's a 1500 Floyd. Now the EMG pickups are the EMG retroactives, which technically they blow big baby chunks. But I'm not going down. I'm not gigging, so I'm not going down that road of replacing the pickups in it. But it's mahogany, pretty heavy guitar. But I got it because at Guitar Center Used, you see that little dink in it right there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like it was hanging on a rack and the guitar above it fell when maybe the strap button hit. So it's brand new, so the frets are fucking huge, which makes my legato sound so much smoother. But the 1500, it stays in tune great. I got it floating. Because, you know, you get
Man, that
low action, Quentin? Do you play with a low action or a higher action?
something to get my 80s on. My action's a little high because I hit real hard, and most people don't like the action of, I don't know. That's probably a medium height, but just put nines on it. I use super slinkies and everything.
Yeah.
Garbage says Edward used the brown celluloid faux tortoise Fender medium pick from 75 to 83. So there you go.
Yeah.
Fender medium.
You know, it's funny. We were talking a few minutes about Eddie's swing, like, you know, how he had that swing, like in the, you know, in the intro on the one. Nobody really plays it just like he did. But it's funny. About 2 weeks ago, when one morning I was watching, you guys know Ben Eller, Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
You know,
Hang 'em high.
yeah, he does some great videos, and I've been watching his stuff for a long time. Not only is he an incredible guitar player, but I mean, you know, his videos he does, he's fun. He keeps interest going. But he did a video a few weeks ago called, you know, Incredibly Hard Van Halen riff or something like that.
Impossible to play or something.
And it's the Hang 'em High riff. Now, I've been playing that riff for many years, and some days I can, in my opinion, I can nail it, do it really good. Some days I'm kind of, oh gosh, I put the guitar down for a little while. But if anybody has a chance to watch Uncle Ben's video on the Hang 'em High riff, and it's called the hard, Van Halen riff or EVH riff. He spends the whole video talking about how Eddie did that and the pick attack and down, up, down, down, up, up, that, whatever. And once you get that down under your, under your skin, once you get it, you just work your speed up. And I was like, whoa, I realized I was doing a couple of things wrong and I wasn't muting quite right. And I'll bet you I took about 30 minutes and I tweaked that riff. And I was like, whoa, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Then tried it the next day. I couldn't do it again. But,
Right.
But he also just go ahead.
I was just going to say real quick, but the interesting thing, we're talking about swing. He gets into the third quarter of that video and he slows the speed down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got that I'm the one swing. Eddie was using swing in that riff and you can't hear it when it's like right up to speed. But that guy, I'm telling you, he had that mojo about it. And, it's interesting. It's like so few people get that. Kirby says Rob plays Hang 'em High better than Ben. I don't know about that, dude. Thank you for the kudos, but I have my good days and my bad days. I'm going to try to do a video one of these days, but I did learn a lot from that video.
Ben also just released what did he call it? The Van scale or the Van Halen scale something. It's it's just that 1-2-4 pattern.
Right. It's the I'm the one solo. It goes in a yeah.
I commented on the video that I've stolen so many licks from Ben that I really should mail him a check.
Yeah. Garbe says Hang 'em High.
He breaks stuff down so slowly where even idiots like me can grasp. Such a good player, man. There's so many good players on YouTube. It's just scary.
You don't even need to take guitar lessons anymore. I mean, I don't know any guitar player who teaches. They got to be going out of business because you can learn everything you want on YouTube. I'm telling you. And,
the only thing is if people are having problems or they're doing something wrong, they can't bounce off a teacher.
Right.
But,
right.
Yeah.
Or a little tip or trick or something, that.
Yeah.
Like there's a guy, his name was Private Tricker, but he changed it to James. And if you watch my earlier videos, I have like 300 cover songs, right? And all it is just, and I kind of tailored my channel to like he does. He just plays along with the song. It's the camera. You don't even see his face. It's just his guitar. No bullshit of, okay, here's a G. You put your second finger here. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake. He just plays along with the song.
Right.
And so if you've been playing for 6 months or more, it's like, hell, I can learn the song just by watching him and going back. And
yeah.
But yeah, I should probably send that guy a check too.
We got a question in the chat. Welcome in as well. Bob and Blackie 5150 says, hey guys, should I get the 15 watt 5150 combo or 40 watt? Looking for high gain at bedroom volume.
I can answer that.
Do it, right?
I can answer that. I
Go
got
ahead.
the 15 watt EV. Are you talking about I just picked up last year, I think it's the 15 watt. Is it the EVH 1x12, the iconic? I tell you what, I got that from Joe Suma at Greenwich Guitars, Greenwich Music in Greenwich, Connecticut, and that's where every year the EVH con is held. And I went down to pick up a yellow Kramer that I turned into the Sammy Hagar era OU812 guitar, which you guys seen on my channel and my Instagram page. And I'm just like lighting it up a little bit to try the guitar, and I'm like, oh, he's got one of those iconic 1x12 EVH 15 watt, combos.
Is it 1x12 or 1x10 that's in that one?
I think Ryan. I think it's 1x12, but Ryan, I could be wrong. Maybe it's 1x10. I'm not sure. I don't know those specs, but it's the one speaker, iconic combo. And I'm telling you, that thing is the most incredible combo I've ever played from. And I've played a million PV 5150 combos. I love those. I mean, I got a PV 5152 120 watt hat. I got the EVH stuff, the 50 watt. I'm telling you, this combo nails so many different eras, but it's just got, but you can play at like a bedroom volume by turning that, that dial down. And I'm telling you, it just sounds like nothing I've ever heard. It's incredible.
Cool.
I know what Trev would say. Trev would say, "Get the 100-watt head and the 412, Cindy."
Mm-hmm.
Yep, totally.
It works for me. But,
Fuck the neighbors.
I've also had a 1 watt plugged into the 412 and dimed it, and it still shakes the windows in the shack here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's confirming it's the Iconic he's looking at. So
Ola just did a Will It Chug with that amp. I haven't yet watched it, but I see it in the feed.
Now, some people have said, they play it and they're like, "Oh, I don't like the sound." You got to play with it. It's got a boost,
see it for
overdrive, and a crunch. Yeah, once you find that sweet spot, oh my gosh, it just opens up so many doors.
Robert Ranford is asking, is anyone picking up the new Boss SDE3000 EVH? You gonna get one, Rob?
I think they're incredible, and I gotta say, Pete Thorne, great job playing, and EVH, I think it's incredible. It's amazing that they reproduced Eddie's Roland, delay units of SDE3000s. I'm not going to say I'm not going to get one down the road, but right now I have an Eventide time factor in my wet dry wet rig, and I have an Eventide pitch factor with the with the detune and the micro pitch set 9 cents positive on the right, 9 cents negative on the left. My Eventide time factor I have dialed in for that ping pong effect. So I don't think I'm going to be jumping on the bandwagon right yet because I don't need it. I'm sure that the new Boss EVH, SDE3000 does more things than the Eventide time factor. But for me right now, just kind of being in that balance era tone, I already have it. I don't think I'm going to jump on it right yet. I want to sit back and listen to some reviews from folks that have it. But I think it's incredible. I think it's amazing, and I'm really happy EVH released that. So probably one day I'll get it. What about you, Ryan? Do you think you're going to grab one?
I think Ryan needs one because his delays weren't even made in this century.
Right? I think it's a cool piece of gear, and I would love to compare it to the original ones because, and the title of the show tonight, that's what I'm running is the original SDE3000s in my wet dry wet with the Eventide Eclipse. And that's what you guys heard a little earlier, and this is what you're about to hear now.
I had the SDE3000.
I mean, I think those SDE3000s are good enough, right?
It would be like a third nipple at this point.
My video messing up? No, that's my strings.
Yeah, but my Digitech RP360XP has drum patterns. You don't have those in those fancy delays, do you?
No, but I got them in my sound pad here. I can hit those. You know what? It's all good. Whatever somebody's using to get the sound that they want to hear and put the smile on the face. All good.
Please, y'all do know I'm kidding, right? I mean,
yeah.
Like my last live rig was a tube head and 2 412s. I had a tube screamer, a crybaby, and an old SPX 90 in the group just for a single delay setting. And I mean, I went through the era where I had a 12 space rack all full of shit, just like everybody else. And man, just you plug into a tube head and you're like, oh, okay, all right, there it is.
Yep, there it is. Yeah, the Axis is confirming it's a 1x10 in the 15 water.
Okay, that's what I got.
Tyler Johnson guitar as well. Hit Metalworks 15 watts 1x10.
I'm telling you, I got the 1x10, and I mean, I've owned. Oh my gosh!
What's going on, Dan?
I've owned 5, 6 PV 5150 combos. I've owned a couple 5150, one heads. I have a 50 watt EVH3, and I got a 5152 PV 120 watt head that I use now for my wet dry wet. But I'm telling you, I picked up this iconic 1x10, and I'm telling you, the thing is just incredible. It's incredible if you want to play, if you live in a condo or you live in an apartment complex and you just can't crank it.
Yep.
I'm telling you, you can get bedroom levels, and it just like freaking melts your freaking face.
And they're really short money, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, like $700-800.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
Definitely going to have to check one of those out.
Actually, I got to meet James Brown. I went to, I used to manage music stores, and I went to what they call PV school down in Meridian, Mississippi. There's a town. And James Brown was, I got to meet him and talk to him. I actually got to see and play one of Eddie's guitars that had come back in, I don't know, for a refret or something. The fretboard was just nasty.
Yeah.
So I got Ed DNA on me. It didn't help at all.
Yeah, James Brown's a great guy. I remember when before he went with EVH, when I went to NAMM back in 19, we went around, and I got the amp when he was with Amp Tweakers, which was his.
Yeah.
I was playing a couple of his guitars and some of his stuff, and I mean, I pinpointed him down. I mean, James and I talk a little bit here and there once in a while, but I mean, what I like about the iconic is if you look back to 1994, 1995, when the 5150s came out, their first ones, James was the mastermind behind that, as we know, on the amps. And nothing against the the EVH 5153s. They're great. I have one. I have the 50-watt Whitey.
What's up, Mikey?
They're great. But I'm telling you, James came back to EVH and he did the Iconics. There's just a kind of mojo that he has, and I know that Phone Talk did a video with him a few years ago, and I'm telling you, James just has that. He's got something that he worked with Ed back in the day, back in the mid '90s. And he reinstituted that in this new Iconic amp. So you can get that original 5150 sound out of the combos and out of the heads. But not just that. You can also get the Marshall-y kind of sound out of them. That's what I love about the Iconics. If you play with the sound and you play with the overdrive and the crunch buttons and all this stuff that it has and the different channels, you can dial in some incredible tones. And that's what I love about it. It's so versatile.
Do you think that as Ed went on, he started to use more preamp gain?
I think so. I think so, specifically in the 90s. I think in the 90s. Yeah. And then, what's interesting is when you look at 1998, Ed, he still had the Eventide harmonizer, and he's still using wet, dry, wet, but he kind of toned back on that a little bit. He went back to he was playing with the cords, cables. He was new wireless anymore. And he kind of went back to a more crunchy sound, and it wasn't quite so processed.
Right. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
Which is fine. But he never, like I said, that 1991 to 96 tone, everybody calls that the wet, dry, wet tone. But Ed always, from that time, right up until, 2015, the last tour, he still used a wet, dry, wet, but he just didn't have that processed, heavier sound. Some people don't like that. That's my favorite sound. But then again, I'll go back and I'll listen to Fair Warning, and I'll be like, whoa, that's incredible. I love it. But he was constantly chasing something, and I don't think he ever really found it. He never really found it. But us people, us fans that look back at all the different eras, we go, oh, that's the sound I like. That's the sound I like. Some people hate that balanced sound, that fuck sound that we all love, for lack of current knowledge. That's my favorite sound because it's just so big and majestic and huge. I mean, just Ryan would just hit a few chords a few minutes ago. I was like, that's it. And I'm here with my computer. If I was sitting in that room with him, it would be like just surrounding you and engulfing you, sucking you in to the black
glorious. Hole. It's glorious down here.
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
That was my favorite.
All right, I'm going to sell my Digitech and get Ryan's complete rig that's behind him. Okay, talk me into it.
I may be selling one of the heads, so let me know.
By the way, Jay Hannon 7/8, he told me he's been to Ryan's house. Okay, so he says Ryan is actually sitting in front of a green screen. All that shit behind him is fake.
Yep.
He's using a Zoom 505 pedal.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's all true.
That's not a real GL2T either.
That's just got to sound glorious in the room, Ryan. I'd come in there and hit one chord and just start crying like a little girl.
Right. And, you know, when you have that tone going on and you have the Trans-trem and you hit, you know.
Glorious. So cool how the chord comes down and it's still in pit, you know.
I think I gotta get a towel. I think I just have to.
Well, while you're over there, turn those paper towels around.
He just put boner jams all over
the toilet paper, right?
I was told I was supposed to take you to the tool shed for that.
Yes. That's my favorite sound, by the way.
Let's see what's going on in the chat.
Rob, my old man being a cop, he had, back when I was just a little kid, he had an actual Thompson submachine gun with the big 50 round mags. And
yeah.
We used to go out to the shooting range. That's why for years I had an arsenal like the size of some small country. I had like 3 AR-15s, AK-47. I had an M1 Garand. And I mean, I don't hunt. I don't like killing things like little girls running down the street. But I do, man, there's nothing like going out to the range and popping in a 20 round mag in your AR-15 and just letting loose. You're not even hitting anything. You're like, I don't know, man, it's fine.
All right.
When I go to John's for a whiskey weekend.
I'm going to show you. 2 years ago, this is my daughter. I took her out to the range. I take my kids out when I can because I like to teach them firearms safety.
I see the videos, yeah.
Well, this is my daughter 2 years ago with my MP5 submachine gun. Check this out. You get a kick out. You lean forward, absorb the recoil, MP5 submachine gun 9mm.
That's full auto, baby.
Oh, wow.
Do you have, I guess
Look at the giggle factor. Look at the giggle factor, yeah.
Do you have to have a, what is it, FFL tax stamp or something to have full auto where you are?
Well, I mean, I have a machine gun license.
Okay,
But I'm also a firearms instructor, so I can have machine guns. I get full auto. And I have some fun toys, yeah.
What's your number one rule as a firearm instructor? Keep your booger hook off the bank switch.
Keep your booger hook up off the bang switch and keep the firearm pointed down range. Keep your finger off the trigger and keep it pointed in a safe direction. You will not have an accident. That's it.
We got a shooting range that we would go to up here occasionally, and this woman was in there, and she was like, she would shoot, and she'd go, "Oh my God, that got such a kick!" Yeah, everybody's like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
They eventually got her out of there. It's crazy, the people.
That clip of that lady shooting your shotgun was pretty good too.
Yeah. The thing is, you go on YouTube, and you look at, as a firearms instructor and as a very pro Second Amendment person in the world we live in, I believe everyone has a right to protect themselves and their family.
Thanks, John.
But I also think that folks should be trained. They should have licenses and background checks because we don't want the level 3 sex offender walking around with guns.
You have to pass some kind of bar. I mean, it's like a car. You have to pass a driver's license to have that deadly weapon.
You're not giving a driver's license to someone who doesn't pass the test. Exactly. And have the training. But I believe that education is the biggest tool that we have. If you educate people, specifically kids, on this stuff, there's not going to be a taboo. It's not a mystery. There's no, inevitably any kid is going to have the opportunity in their life to, oh, hey, want to see this? And if they don't understand, hey, keep your finger out of it. Don't touch that. Where's your parents? What are you doing? Don't point that at me. If you alleviate the educational factor from them, then you're doing them a huge disservice.
Right.
And if you educate them on that, it's not a mystery. It's not taboo. It's just normal. You already are educated. If you educate someone on something, they understand it. They understand it, then they can handle it appropriately. But anyways, I've done that with my two kids, and my son is almost 24, and my daughter's going to be 19 in a couple of weeks. And my kids both are not gun people, but I can take them in the range just like that, and they know exactly how to manage that gun. My girlfriend, her two kids, they the same exact thing, and they're almost 9 and 6. And if you it's all about education. If you shelter people from things at a young age, inevitably they're going to get to the age when they're going to experience it. And if they're not educated and know how to handle it, then they're going to do something stupid. It's not rocket science.
I grew up with archery and firearms and stuff too. My extent is air guns. I got a couple break barrel rifles and a couple CO2s and stuff. And when we go to Whiskey Weekend at John's place, shooting cans of Pepsi from 30 yards with the break barrel rifle, and they
See it,
blow
Charles.
up.
And it's fun.
That really scratches an itch, right? It scratches the itch. I'm like Quentin, though. I mean, I've had vermin down the barrel in the sights, and I'll fire one across the bow or plink them in the ass. I'm not going to try and kill any kind of animal unless I'm really hungry or it's attacking something.
Well, I've got these damn little cats in my neighborhood that keep eyeballing me, so you never know. But I carry a Smith & Wesson 40 caliber, and this is just me. Rob knows that thing. It doesn't have a safety on it. It's got a little trigger safety. But
this is the safety you got to worry about. That's the only safety that matters.
And this is just me. I'm not a cop, so this is just me. I don't keep one in the chamber. So that I could throw my gun out of the car going 60 miles an hour. It's not going to accidentally go off. And I figure, hey, if I don't have the half a second to rack one in the chamber, then I'm probably dead anyway. But I'd rather err on the side of safety.
There's nothing wrong with that, Quentin. There's nothing wrong with it. I carry hot. I always keep one in the chamber, but I train that way. But I also teach my students who take my safety classes, you have to be comfortable with what you do. If you're comfortable with it, that's what matters. Right. Everybody's a little bit different.
I am not comfortable with having one in the chamber.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong. And as long as you train with that, and you train your brain that if you ever needed to use, you come out of the holster, boom, you rack that slide. Because in the heat of battle, someone's coming at you, you're going to pull, it's not rack, it's too late, they're right on top of you.
This is even silly, but Rob won't think it's silly. I've even practiced, grabbing it by the slide and putting it to my chest and racking one in that way in case one arm's not working.
No, you're right. You're right. 100%.
I've had I don't have my license now. I had one for probably 30 years, but Kentucky went to constitutional carry.
Oh, you're in Kentucky?
I'm going to like Indiana or wherever where I need it. So I don't bother paying the $50. And
I know, but you're in Kentucky?
Yeah.
Oh man, I've been to Knob Creek so many times.
Knob Creek, that's where I used to go shoot my ARs, man. Yeah, they have those machine gun shoots are wicked.
I've been to those. I brought all my machine guns.
Oh shit, there's trouble. Ben Tom's here.
Stephen Franklin says, well, then you need to educate most politicians. Well, most of our politicians need an education.
Yeah, but they all got security around them who carry firearms, right? Yeah.
They don't mind.
But there's too many of them that are saying everybody should get one. It's your birthright. Again, they're not implementing the tests and the skill set and the safety measures before someone carries.
In the state of Kentucky, when a male is born, we get a circumcision and a pistol.
Right. 22 cal, right? Just a little 22 to start off with.
They give you the pistol actually after you get the circumcision because,
That's right, Josh. Guns and guitars.
There's Bent Tom.
Wait, girls, got to figure out.
What's up, Bent Tom?
Guns, girls, and guitars.
Says, who's this Quentin kid? I heard he's dating Jessica Alba.
I would do things to Jessica Alba that I wouldn't do to a fireman.
Man, that Digitech sounds great.
Dude, it's $140, and I mean, for what I do on YouTube and piddling around, it's fine. I'm not gonna.
Jessica Alba's kind of old now, isn't she? Older? She's like older.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about Jessica Alba 30 years ago.
Yeah, right. She's like 50 now. Well, no, she's not that old.
She spent a lot of time up here in Vancouver filming those series.
She was hot. She's like 15. Trev knows what I'm talking about, dude.
This is way out of my range. 42. Oh,
That's-
speaking of that, hey, come here, Matt. I want to do. Come here. Come here.
She's like, no.
She's like, I don't have my makeup on. Whatever.
Those guys are idiots. We're not coming down here. There's trouble.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm a mess. Excuse me.
Yeah, she's a mess. You're a mess.
Yeah, she's a mess. Yeah.
This is Jesse. Say hi to
Hi,
everybody.
everyone.
Nice,
Nice
to meet you.
nice to see you.
Nice
I think I met you the first time you were on.
Yeah,
You
I
had
remember
your two
that.
kids. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Good
were
to see you again.
that's
very
right,
proud.
Yep.
You guys are having fun, huh?
Always.
You bet.
All right, get out of here. Go away. Get out of here.
Everybody's being all polite when the girl comes
Can
out.
you go?
As much fun as we can have with our pants on, anyways.
Right.
Well, you can't see the little waist over here, so
Yeah.
watch out.
Yeah, I'm only wearing the shirt.
Looking at you, Quentin James.
Can you have her turn those paper towels around? It's actually really starting to bug me. No.
I gotta turn that paper towel around. Yeah. Actually, I do need to go make another drink though. So hold on one second.
All right.
If you have a cat, you gotta put it the other way, or the cat's gonna unravel the whole fucking thing, man.
Right.
Ben Tom said cute couple. I was wondering if that girl lost a bet or something. Is that?
No telling. Hey, we got Six Fingered Salt jumping in. Welcome
See you,
in.
Miles.
Good to see you, Miles. When Six comes in, you got to play some AC/DC, the band from Down Under.
Down under.
Or you could do some Men at Work.
Wasn't Mark Knopfler from Australia?
I don't know. Is Mark Knopfler from Australia? I don't know.
I'll look it up.
Let's see. What are you guys talking about in the chat? We have, Bo says, I just have a bunch of rifles and shotguns
Oh,
near
no,
my
he's
studio.
I digress.
Yeah. Lewis says, Mikey, aren't you supposed to be practicing guitar? Let's see. Another question for Rob. I guess we'll wait when he gets back.
Go ahead. You can ask it. I hear you.
Okay. Says, Rob, what do you think of the positive grip spark?
Grid.
Yeah. It's the only amp I play through currently. Like you said, when you tweak around and mess around, you can get pretty close to almost every EVH era.
Positive grip. What was it?
Positive
The
grid.
positive grid.
Spark.
The spark.
Little spark amp.
Little modeler.
I honestly have to say I really apologize. I don't know anything about that amp. I haven't even heard about that amp. But I will tell you, I don't. Is it a combo amp? Is it a?
No, it's a little modeling amp. It's
It's
kind
sort
of
of
a
like
different
the-
version of like those Yamaha THX
Yeah.
things.
Oh,
TR,
THR. Yeah, I have one. I would imagine that it probably has some online settings. Typically, those kind of amps, like my Yamaha THR 10X, it comes with some really good out of the box stuff. But if you go online and you do the patches, you can get some, pretty much, dial in whatever you want. Most of those types of amps like that will have some good stuff online. But you kind of have to go online to find, those settings. But a lot of that stuff, if you just play with it and you tweak it and you kind of go back and forth, you can find a good sound. But I do apologize. I don't know much about that particular model.
I just can't get with the lack of the tubes.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff, like Josh says, you can get close with a lot of that modeling stuff. And a lot of people think that's the way everything is going to go. Tube amps are going to disappear, and we'll just have digital stuff. Of course, who knows? In a couple of years, maybe the AI will be writing all the music and playing it and doing it all for us.
See Ice-T
Can I
today?
share something
Ice-T on
quick?
his Twitter did a thing where he asked the AI, how do I fix my car engine?
Hmm?
And the replies were just stupid.
Right.
Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again?
Have you rebooted
The
it?
internal combustion engine can be a finicky species. Maybe you need to hit it with a hammer. Right?
For Mr. Bent Tom, can I share? Because he's always. Now, I want you to look at that amplifier. The knob on the far left is the gain. So, Mr. Bent Tom, the gain is well below 8 there, brah. Well, it's almost a Fender twin clean sound, for God's sake.
Where was the mids? Those are supposed to be at 11.
11? I don't know where to go.
Isn't that what John always says, Trev?
The mids are about 1 o'clock, trebles 12 o'clock, bass is 12 o'clock. But again, this is the, Digitech, so who knows.
Ryan Hall's saying that a friend of his family plays steel, and he played all steel on Brothers in Arms LP and toured with him in Europe. That's pretty cool. And that's,
Very cool.
I love that song, that Brothers in Arms. I mean, if you ever want to just sit back and relax and smoke one,
Great
good
album.
song to do it to.
Yep. Yeah, that's kind of like you were saying earlier, the sounds of my youth. Brothers in Arms,
Yeah.
the Van Halen 5150 OU812 stuff.
See, I go, yeah.
Even the band I mentioned a minute ago, Men at Work. I heard their song today. What's it called? Down Under, or Six will probably know. Met a guy and he gave me a Vegemite sandwich or something. What's that?
Right. The Land Down Under.
Yeah, I guess that's what it's called. But it just took me immediately back.
Right.
So
Let's
Well,
try a
we're-
little game. I want to play a little game with you guys and the folks in the chat. How many Tina Turner songs did you hear today?
Oh,
I heard 0.
Really? I heard
So,
at
I
least
mean,
6.
Simply the Best. I heard Simply the Best. How did she die? No,
I think
can't-
her kidneys failed from a thing I
She's
saw
81.
going through the stuff. Her husband actually gave her a kidney like 13 years ago because hers were so buggered up.
Wow.
How cool is that if your spouse is the match, right?
Oh wow,
Right.
yeah. Yep.
She
So
she was simply the best.
At least 6
I see
times.
what
So,
you
I mean,
did
because
there.
I was working in gas stations and stuff. so I got,
It took me a second. I see what he did there.
right.
But I'm bumped.
Yeah, I didn't listen to radio much today, so I didn't hear any of it. So, thinking about all these bands that, kind of, Rob, I know that, back in the 80s and Quentin, back in the 60s or whenever it was.
They say that,
So-
that music you listen to in your youth, like from 12 to 16, pretty much defines your musical
Right.
character.
Dude, I'm a child of the 60s and 70s. I was
Wait,
born
Quentin, how old are you? How old are you?
I was born in
never-
64.
You never ask a woman their age.
109,
Sorry, Cindy.
50, 58, 59.
Okay, 58. Okay, you're 58. Trev, how old are you?
I'll be 54 next month.
54. Okay, and Ryan, you're what?
I'll be 52 this year.
Okay, and I'm 49, going to be 52, and
It's almost
October.
2-year
we got
jump all around.
58, 54, 52, and almost 50. So we're all in the same ballpark.
Yeah, same kind of ballpark. So, with that in mind, the bands that you listened to back in your day, if alive or dead, if you could do like a Monsters of Rock and you could pick the bands that were on it, who would you pick?
Ooh.
Oh, well, Pantera would be there for sure. Since
Yeah.
you said we could resurrect.
Okay, say you have, let's give you 5. No, let's give you 6 bands that you can pick. Alive
Sure,
or
Pantera would be
dead.
And AC/DC with Bon Scott. Some old original Judas Priest there from the 70s.
You guys
Of course,
in the chat.
Van Halen. Now,
Type
Van
out
Halen,
who-
can we pick both eras? Does that count as 2, I guess, right?
Sure.
Both eras? Or does
I
that
don't
only
know.
count as 1?
All right, so you got a
There'd be
couple
some
more.
Slayer there.
Some Slayer.
There'd be some Slayer in there. And what the hell? Metallica always brings a game. They got the pyro and stuff going on.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah.
How about you, Quentin? Who would you have on your roster?
Well, it would have to be AC/DC with Bon Scott. That was my jam back in the days.
Right?
Dude, what really sets me off is stuff, I hate to say this, man, but like the singer-songwriter, like Linda Ronstadt, the old Bee Gees before disco, the old Elton John,
Yeah.
Singer-songwriter stuff. I mean, I don't play like that, that's for sure, but
So you're certainly a James Taylor fan, then.
yeah, I'm not a super fanboy. I'd rather listen to Gordon Lightfoot over at James Taylor.
All right.
Funny, James Taylor's kid, I know very well because he's a senior at the college that I work at as a safety officer, and he's graduating on Sunday.
Wow.
And James Taylor will be at the school
No way.
there. And Harrison Ford's son is also graduating at the school that I work at, and he will be there with Callista Flockhart on Sunday.
Ah.
So I will get to meet James Taylor, Callista Flockhart, and Harrison Ford on Sunday.
Harrison
Cool.
Ford's not coming in on his own plane, is he? No.
Ask
Yeah,
him
I
when
know.
he's doing his next Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I know.
See,
Yeah,
I think they're doing another Raiders. Never mind.
yeah, they're doing
Yeah.
another one. But he's going to be trans solo this time.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry.
All right, we got some stuff coming in on the chat here. We got Mikey Mojo. Should I do it, Jay? That's kind of your thing.
Yeah.
I won't do it.
Mikey Mojo.
I mean, I give a little taste of it, I guess.
Mikey Mojo.
There
No,
it
I don't do it as good as Jay. Let's see. So he says Zeppelin, Van Halen, Hendrix, AC/DC, and Rush.
That's not a
Whoa.
bad show.
Be a
Yeah,
pretty good
that's
show.
cool. Yeah, that's a big deal.
Bent Tom says doesn't matter which bands, he's not going anyway.
Come on.
Quentin James's Hyundai says Pearl Jam 10, all 4 sets at Quentin James. Laz says Van Halen, Hendrix, Jeff Beck, Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, and Ozzy with Randy
Oh,
Rhoads.
the Aussie with Rhodes. I mean, that always comes up with Laz, that
Yeah, that's
story
a
where
big
he didn't want to break the window. Come on. Couldn't find a rock.
I think that was a
You
Van
lost the
Halen
tickets.
concert, though, wasn't it?
Oh, was it Van Halen?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
thought that was Randy.
I'm sure
All
he'll
right.
tell us down in the chat later.
I'll say one
I
thing
stand
about
corrected.
Randy. I did not care for the boy's tone at all.
But
I
it
mean,
fit the
here
mix.
Keeping Randy Rhodes, not his playing, it's his tone.
I think the
It fit the mix.
first Ozzy song that I ever heard was Crazy Train. And
Yeah,
I
me too.
freaking love that song.
Yeah.
You know?
No, Diary of a Madman. Just
That's my pick from
what
the
a
whole
song,
onslaught.
man. I mean, yeah,
It's a
every guitar player was
masterpiece.
like, "What is this?"
Ryan, what would your 5-piece band be? if you
My
had-
5-band set for Monsters of Rock. Let's see. It would have to be Led Zeppelin for sure, because I never saw them. Would love to see Pink Floyd again.
Oh God.
Yep.
Certainly Van Halen for sure.
Yeah.
So
What
that's
era?
3.
What era?
If you don't say it, I'm going to add a random audible.
I
The
think
first
probably
two albums era. That's my.
no.
Van Halen.
I think the Hager era,
Yeah.
because I saw him with Dave, and I don't care for Dave live. You know, I was always wishing that I had seen him live with Van Halen, and in the last, I don't know if that's
my
way different
favorite
from before,
Sammy
but
is that from Summer Nights earlier. That towards the end. I mean, that's just so.
yeah,
I think
And
Dave's
live, it
Dave,
was
when
amazing.
Dave was live. I think all Dave, his lyrics all night long were, "Look at me, look at me."
right.
I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
and some people love that kind of showmanship. I didn't. I was there for the music. I wanted to hear Ed play.
Well, as
And,
long as you could get the words to the song halfway like they were on the album, I mean, he would. His
People eat
fucking-
up.
the verses would be so far behind because he's just, "Look at me."
Yeah. So I guess that would be my few. How many more do I have? One. I
I
said
think you're at 3, so you got.
You got
Led
2 more.
Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Van Halen.
Come on, do it.
Well, I can
Do it.
see Alice in Chains anytime.
Right.
Well, I'd throw them on
Cantrell,
there.
gotta
I'd
be.
throw them
in
on
their
there.
day, back in the early
Yeah,
93,
yeah.
Back in the Lane
94.
Staley
Fuck.
days. Lane Staley
I'd
days.
throw them on there. Let's see who else. Who else would be on mine?
Anybody else just a little bit?
Definitely.
Monday.
Twice you had me thinking
In-
Def Leppard, but
Any band that you would pick with Chris Cornell. Any of the
oh,
iterations of
Soundgarden was
his
so
bands.
good back in the day,
Yeah.
in those early 90s and even the late 80s. I saw Soundgarden the first time in a bar. Because a lot of them, Alice in Chains and Soundgarden Seattle bands, did the 2-hour trek up to Vancouver for a couple nights and did some shows.
Ben
And
Thompson
man,
was really
they were
one-
heavy metal. There was no grunge at that time. It was metal, and that
Yeah.
first that Loud Love was.
opener. You know who the oddball opener been, Tom? Jellyfish.
I've seen them.
Love Jellyfish, man.
Let's see what everybody's saying in the chat. We got a bunch of Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix,
Yeah, I guess
Ozzy.
that was overwhelming.
ZZ Top. There we go. You know,
Is that the top?
if we
Probably some
extended
ZZ Top.
the band list, we could get a pretty good thing going here. Ryan Hall, he's got a little different approach. He says Allman Brothers, Leonard Skinner, Marshall Tucker, Charlie Daniels, and Hank Williams Jr.
I would go to that, especially for the Charlie Daniels. Devil went down to Georgia.
Yeah.
The Axe would have Cream on the show. There we go. Kurt 5150, he's got it. Collective Soul,
Seen them?
Played with them.
Alice in Chains,
Seen them?
Aerosmith,
Nope.
and Van Halen.
Seen them. That's only. You still got one more, Kurt. Come on.
Yeah, you got one more.
Which era of Van Halen, though, Kurt?
That's a good question.
We got a call for Korn here.
I would go to that.
You know, it's funny. I saw Korn back 3 years ago when they opened for Alice in Chains in
Still
Mansfield,
good?
Massachusetts. Yeah, I'm telling you, I was impressed. I mean, that's the first
Heavy,
time I ever
right?
saw Korn. They were good. They were good. And Alice in Chains. I mean, I've always been a Chains fan.
Jerry's always.
Those guys look like their guitars way too much.
I say to this day that the best concert I've ever been to is the Unlawful Carnal tour when Alice in Chains opened for Van Halen.
Yeah.
That was just phenomenal.
Weren't
Phenomenal.
they a little worried, or what was the deal with Alice opening up for them? They were kind of worried about the grunge thing coming along or something, and there was some story about why they wanted them and why they were a little worried about them.
Yeah, so from what I heard was in that era, Van Halen, this is what I read, I can't remember where, but grunge was coming around.
See, Herb.
Nirvana was kind of at that almost coming around phase, 1991, 92. Pearl Jam was around, and Van Halen recognized that was up and coming, and they weren't
Shift in the movement.
Van
of
Halen
music,
was
yeah.
never a band that was going to follow trends. They were never going to be the fad of the day. They were going to make an album contrived of, okay, we're going to do this, so they made For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, and Eddie had just changed the sound all around. He was using the 5150s, the Music Man. He went with a huge wet, dry, wet, processed Eventide harmonizer sound. And I remember hearing an interview where Sammy said, we wanted to include this new kind of music that was coming, this grunge kind of music. We wanted to bring them in and kind of, we're not going to change who we are, but we're going to bring them in with us, and we're going to do this, and it's all music. And it was Van Halen were the ones that said, let's do this and let's bring them in. And it turned into a huge, incredible relationship. I mean, Jerry Cantrell and Eddie were huge, big friends. I mean, Jerry Cantrell lived half a mile down the road on Coldwater Canyon from Eddie, and that was one of the pivotal points of Van Halen. And
if you've ever heard Jerry tell that story of him showing up home one day and going out to the studio and finding all the gear that Edward had sent to him, right? It's just like,
he sent him like 2 stack kits and a couple Music Man guitars that were in his garage.
sign for it. Send it to my friend.
But that was
ultimately
let's combine these two groups.
Most touching moments in all of rock and roll history for me was Edward at Dimebag's funeral putting the bumblebee in his fucking coffin. That fucking hair stands up on end, and that's just such a touching sentiment.
I hear he just hated that guitar anyway. He just wanted to get rid of it.
He could never get it to sound the way he liked the way it looked, but he could never get it to sound the way he wanted.
Yeah. Let's see. Laz was able to catch Cornell with Temple of the Dog just before he passed.
I've seen Soundgarden at least 4 or 5 times. Every time.
Mr. Franklin says Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, Iron Maiden, and Kiss. Yeah, there's a good one. Laz, Queen. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm surprised no one said S2P. We had no S2P in this.
Stone Temple Pilots. Yeah.
It's not a bad call, Rob.
We
They were
got
good.
Runaways, Go Go's, Bangles, TLC, and if time permits, the Spice Girls.
I'm sensing some sarcasm.
I don't know that TLC song. Don't go chasing them waterfalls. That was pretty
Yeah.
good stuff there.
Just
you
given
know.
his guitar and the way those bands laid out, I'm sensing some sarcasm.
Dan of New Jersey says Clapton, Hendrix, Country Joe, and the Fish.
Right on. Yeah, Jimmy would be awesome to see, but you'd have to do acid to make it authentic, right?
Have a good night, Six Fingered Assault.
Yeah, we'll see you,
Miles.
Miles. Take it easy. Let's see. I think everybody is.
Oh, Hip's
here
got
we
a
go.
good run.
Yep. Sabbath with Dio, Frank
Good call.
Zappa. That would be a show. Frank Zappa.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Floyd, Frank Marino. Yet to see Al D'Amelio either.
Diamola.
Diamola. I don't know who that is. Should I know
He's
who
one of
that
them
is?
jazz guys.
Oh,
Fingers
okay.
all over the place.
All right.
And Tom says 2 Live Crew with Luke Skywalker.
You know what? I would go to that.
I would, absolutely. Is there going to be lightsabers?
Yeah, right.
Oh, Jesus.
That's the 40 there.
Is that one of those SW 40s?
I used to carry a, I forget the model, the Glock 21, the 45 caliber. But the goddamn thing kept pulling my pants down. I couldn't get my pants tight enough. That thing's a fucking hand cannon.
Was that the full size? Full
Yeah,
size? I think
yeah.
that's a 32. A 32. Was it 32? I think.
I think it's a 21. Anyway, I don't.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
All I remember is thinking, you know, if somebody's pointing that thing at you and the hole in the gun's like that big, you're probably going to run away.
Stick a finger in it.
Mine is the 30S, which is the short, thin slide 45 caliber.
Yep.
But those don't really have a safety on them either. I mean, a little trigger safety. Though.
Right there.
Yeah.
This is safety. Only safety that matters, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Booger hook out of the bang switch, and you got no problem.
You got any more tunes you gonna play for us, Quentin? He was teaching me this lick the other night. What was that one?
Power!
I like that riff.
That was my first Sammy experience because, I mean, that movie was in
Well,
heavy
my favorite
rotation in
one,
my
yeah.
group.
That's just fun to play.
Mhm.
I gotta say though, so if anybody was to ask me, Van Halen being my favorite band ever, and I love the Roth era, and I absolutely love the Hagar era. If you had to pin me down and ask me what my favorite era was, I would say the Hagar era, just because that was my high school anthems.
Mhm.
Right.
But does that
That's
mean
the
I don't like
association.
the Roth era? No, of course not. Of course not. I love them both. They both have their place. I go through my phases. You know, I love all the bootlegs. But I gotta say, and I'm gonna get some serious hate for this. You know, Sammy, I remember Ed saying in an interview, our songs, this is back when Sammy came, do not sound like Sammy Hagar songs. Now, I love One Way to Rock, and I love some of Hagar's songs, but like the song Heavy Metal, I mean, they were just dumb songs. They just stupid lyrics, you know, like Three Lock Box. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. It makes no sense. That's like dumb rock, lyric wise. You know, heavy metal. It's just like I don't know. I don't know. To me, it's just like Sammy was. I love Sammy. He's my favorite Van Halen singer, and I love that era. But some of his songs, they were just dumb. They just sounded stupid. The lyrics were dumb.
Now listen to this real quick. Quentin, play that heavy metal intro just real quick, if you would please, sir. Okay. Now, here's Ed's intro to Fire in the Hole. Did
Yeah,
he?
but you're playing through wet, dry, wet, so it sounds 10 times better.
No. But did he rip that? Because it sounds very familiar, doesn't it?
It does.
I recognized that when you played that the other night, and I'm like, what does that sound like? And I was like, oh yeah. You know, he does a little something, but it's totally like in that same groove there.
Tyler Johnson, guitar, says, you ever met a guy whose favorite Van Halen vocals is Gary Cherone?
No.
Haven't seen that come up.
Have not. Zach Thong had a pretty good list here. He's got Nirvana, Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Van Halen, John Mayer, Prince, and Michael Jackson. That would be quite the show, wouldn't it? You got to throw Madonna in there, too.
That's 7 bands, though.
That's all right. That's all right. It's an extended...
Wait, are you talking about Michael Jackson when he was black or white?
It doesn't matter if you're black or white.
I love like the old like ABC, the Jackson 5. Oh, that's great stuff, man.
Here we go. Raymond Bozak has the 70s era ELP Journey. A Journey, I thought about that one for just a moment. It's got to be Steve Perry, though. None of this new Arnell stuff. Rush, Peter Frampton, and Van Halen. That's a good list. Skyprop says original The Who. Let's see.
That would have been good, too. The Who back in the early 70s, I mean, they were cutting tracks for sure.
Okay,
Tyler.
what was the first album you ever bought?
I think mine was Chicago. Was it called Chicago 21 or Chicago 19 or I don't know.
The first album I ever bought.
Yeah.
Rob's gonna love this. The soundtrack to Billy Jack.
Oh, I know the movie. I'm trying to think what. I'm gonna put this foot in this part of your face. Gosh, I know the movie. I can't think of the soundtrack though.
The 110 Soldier was the big song. Yeah.
Help me out. How does it go?
I'm not gonna sing it for God's sake.
Brian, play it on your wet, dry, wet.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't know.
You know, that's probably from the late 50s or 60s. I don't know.
Here's another one that's going to shock you.
Okay.
My most favorite song in the whole world, Don McLean, American Pie.
There you go.
Interesting.
I'll allow it.
And I just saw 4 people on my channel. What? What the? That was a quote from the great poet R2R3.
Right.
What the?
Tyler Johnson Guitar says, play the first verse to Summer Nights. It sounds similar too. Do you think so? I don't think so.
Go ahead. You got the wet, dry, wet going. You got to play Summer Nights.
He did do it earlier.
You missed it. I played nearly the whole song.
Encore.
Somebody said I have to hand in my DH card.
Cobra Kai, good to see you, brother.
Go ahead, hit the chord. Come on.
Oh man, I did it again. Did the fat finger? Hang on. Let me get this going here. Man, I'm just messing things up royally tonight. Okay, I think I've got it now.
Nice tree.
that's enough of that. Right. All right, let's
so
get
awesome,
back
man.
to the show.
Dude, can you even play guitar, dude?
Say what?
Can you even play guitar, dude?
No, that's the only song I know. So
That Bell Bay Book One's really paying off for you, right?
yeah. Maybe I'll have Garbage give me some lessons and show me how to play it properly. I need to know. I need to learn how
to play. I tell you, Garbage can tell you how to play it like the album is.
Right.
He got be well. I mean, no, he knows how to like get live stuff too, but he focuses mostly on the album stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because someone will be like, "Oh, I play it like this, and it sounds great." And Garbage will be like, "No, you missed that. That note isn't like that on the album. That note isn't."
You're doing it wrong.
I'm not picking on him. The guy is like freaking on.
Yeah.
He hones in on the album stuff, you know?
Well, I've always said it that I'm a dark side of the Force user.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
So my guitar playing, it's quick and easy path.
Yeah, me too.
If it sounds close enough, it's good enough for me. So
me too.
Let's see. Had a question here that I saw. Bryce Riggle, will that give you a copyright strike on your live stream? Yes.
Likely.
Yes. Very much so. Big time.
Now, will you get two, even though it was the same song
Well,
twice?
it's not summer yet. We're not technically it's not summer, so
right.
Right.
Well, I keep waiting for Sammy to see it and then invite me to play it live with him.
So it's 83 in the shed.
Well, you can
Feels
play
like
it
summer.
10 times better than Vic can. He doesn't even use a freaking Trans-trem.
You know what? I wish they just would not even play it.
I know.
Yeah. It's just don't do it.
Just don't do it. I mean, they played 5150 back in 2003 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it was okay, but like they got to the part where the solo kicked in, the song stopped. I'm like, the solo, that's the best part of the song.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Oh, well.
Hey guys, I'm gonna bow out and have me a sandwich.
All right, Quentin,
Nice.
Thanks for stopping in, man. It was a fun
Good to
time.
see you, brother.
Yeah.
Later's good. Later, John DeChain. I'm not even gonna go through. I'll just give you my regular. Hey, it's Quinn James. See you later.
See you, man.
See ya,
Have a
bud.
good one.
Cheers, brother.
Let's see. What are you guys talking about in the chat now? Let's go through. Jay's talking about some critical listening. I guess a list of all the bands we're putting up here. Oh, we got some Van Halen, Exodus, Megadeth, Primus, and Pantera.
I'd go to that
pretty
show.
good. Yep.
Primus.
John.
When I know it's Big Brown Beaver.
I know he's got a big brown beaver.
And
Johnny,
the theme
Johnny
song to
was a
South
race car
Park.
driver, something like that.
Yeah,
The theme song for South Park's
Was
probably
it
the biggest.
Yeah.
Johnny or was it Billy? Billy was a race car driver.
Going down to South Park.
I don't remember. John says he
that's
prefers a
fun.
live vibe when jamming Van Halen. I do too. We talked about Eddie has that swing, that he's got.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that putting it down on a recording, I don't think he would ever play it again exactly the same.
he wouldn't. Right.
So,
It's funny if you listen to any of Eddie's songs, any of them. But let's talk about Summer Nights. Listen to Summer Nights, even in the 5150 tour, when you listen to it live. I mean, yeah, the same basic chords and the progression, the way the song goes is the same. But the solos and everything that he did, I mean, as the tour went on, he added different harmonics. Listen to the Balance tour in the 7th Seal on the breakdown, where he goes, na, 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 and he hits a harmonic, like he never did that in the album. He did all because he was constantly learning new, I'm going to add this, I'm going to add this, I'm going to add this, like all kinds of little things. He never played anything the same. So when people tell me, well, that's not how it sounds on the album, well, that's fine if you're going for the album sound. But if you're going for the overall vibe of how the song sounds, I mean, if none of us are ever Eddie. We're never going to play like that. But if you just have fun with it and you think, oh, this could go in there. I mean, Eddie had a bag of tricks. He had a bag of tricks. His harmonics, his squeals and all the different stuff that he did. I mean, his chords were pretty much mostly the same. He was usually, soloing and E, for the most part. But he always everything would change. So, if you want to play it by the album, that's great. But if you want to look halfway through the tour, he was thinking of different things to play those same exact
Mm-hmm.
songs. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, always changing it up. I always thought that was cool. You know, like you mentioned, summer nights. You know, listening even on like Live Without a Net. You know, he changed it up already. You know, like in that one spot where he does the and then he would hit those harmonics right there.
right?
You know,
Never did that on the album.
Yeah, like the. You know.
Right. Right.
So that was a cool change up that he did there. And, you know, listening to the Japan version, there was something completely different in it. So
right.
It was never the same way twice, which is great.
Yeah.
All right, let's get
a musician. That's a musician.
Mm-hmm. Got a question for Raymond about all his pictures. Is Amanda still planning on doing something with that, Raymond? I mean, that would be cool. I've heard you got a lot of good stuff. Let's see. Bryce says that's one of the things that made him great, in my opinion. Love how he improvised on the fly. Mikey Mojo says Suscord Heaven. Wayno, welcome in.
Good to see you, brother.
No worries, man. Busy tonight at the firehouse. Good to see you all. Good to see you in here. Let's see. Oh, I hit the wrong one. Bent Tom says in the Steve Rosen book, he talks about changing stuff during the tour because he would get bored. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Tyler Johnson Guitar says, anybody else love playing chords that you have no idea what they are called? Could be A minor, sus4 for all. I'm the same way. You know, I'll play a chord and I'm like, man, that sounds really good. I wonder what it is.
Same thing with me. I don't even have a clue what I'm doing. It sounds good. That's great.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Bent Tom is asking Guitar Man 45, are you getting the new SDE3000 delay? I don't know that he's even heard of it yet, Bent Tom. Right. So, kind of a running joke. Let's see. Smoking cool. So what's your plans? I know you said are you moved into the new place now? Is that where you are?
No, I'm still at my spot.
Okay.
Just trying to do some, get through some logistical stuff, and hope probably sometime this summer, I'll be officially moved. But just wait for a few things to happen, and pinpoint a few things. But yeah, we're going in that direction. Yeah.
Cool. Now you had mentioned the EVH Con, and you said it's at the same place each year. Is it kind of just a spur of the moment? Hey, let's do it here or this time, or is it?
It's always in the fall. It's always either late October or early November, usually on a Sunday.
Okay.
And it's always at Joe Suma's place, which is Greenwich Music in Greenwich, Connecticut. That's where it's been for the past, at least I'm gonna say 8 to 10 years. I've been maybe not that long, maybe probably 7, 8 years. I've been going for the last 5. Mm-hmm. And we got Steve Nowicki goes, who works for Howard Stern. Scott Smith's always there. Adam Reaver from that Plutone. A whole bunch of us go. Kurt went with me. Kurt 5150 went with me a couple of years ago. Janice goes. Janice Lala goes. A whole bunch of us go, and we all get up and play guitar. Pete Caruccio and Craig from CHS Custom Guitars.
You kind of glossed over the Kurt came up thing. There's some stories there. I know I've heard
Kurt
a few
came
of
up.
them.
We talked about the time he came to my place and I passed out drunk in the bathroom.
You guys were getting hammered.
Well, I'm asking because I think that I would like to go this year. So.
Oh, Ryan, I'd love to have you, man. We can both bring our GL2Ts and
man.
Yeah.
Whenever it rolls around, keep me updated, and
I will keep you updated, and you will get an invite. I'll make sure you get an invite.
Excellent.
Cool.
Yeah. But it's a good time. We just get together. There's all kinds of food and drinks, and everybody hangs out, and we get up and play songs. And we got a drummer, we got a bass guitarist, a singer.
Cool.
And this Saturday, I'm sure we're going to see some pictures online. So if you guys are watching Facebook or Instagram, The lead guitarist from Everybody Wants Some, the Van Halen tribute band, Everybody Wants Some, Joe Girard, Shreddy Van Halen on Facebook, was having a party at his place out towards Boston. And my girlfriend and I and the kids are going out. We're going to play guitar and be on the boat and swimming and having a good time. It's supposed to be like 80 degrees. So that'll be kind of fun. But he always goes to the EVH Con. But yeah, it's just a good time. It's a lot of fun, and just everybody gets together. And
now, is there a house set up, or can you bring your own rig?
So usually
it's in a guitar store set up, right?
Usually, Craig from CHS Custom Guitars brings a couple of cabs. We don't have it set up for a wet, dry, wet, but typically he'll bring like a Boss PS6 harmonist, for that tune, and so you got a really good sound. He'll bring a 5152 120 watt head.
Probably going to be a Boss SDE pedal there this year.
Probably
speculating.
So.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean it's got a good sound, definitely. Yeah. Last year,
I don't know. I think if I'm going to drive all that way, and I've got
room in the truck for a lot of that stuff, right?
I've got an Expedition,
Well, you can stay at my place.
There we go.
No, seriously, you can come stay at my place for the night because I'm only like 2 hours away, and just hang out here and see my museum because I got a museum here.
Got to be some good content, Ryan. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, yeah, let's plan to do something.
We'll do something. Yeah, we'll make it happen.
For sure.
We got about 5 months, so we got time to plan.
Cool. Absolutely. And that's, line of work that I'm in, that's when it starts to slow down a little bit. So maybe we get some time to kind of relax and do stuff like that.
I want to rent an RV and trek across Canada and cut down to see the show.
You need to, Trev.
Let's
go. You're welcome. But I mean, seriously, Ryan, we got HVAC issues out here, so we got work out here too.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a long service call. How many hours is windshield time today?
That's a bunch of windshield time today. Well, gentlemen, I'm gonna need to wrap it up. I do have work tomorrow, so it's a work night for me. So we're getting around 10:30 here for me. So start wrapping up.
Right on.
Trev, as always, thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
Rob, always great to see you. Thanks for jumping in and chatting.
Yeah.
Quentin James, thanks to Quentin for jumping in too. Everybody in the chat, I had a lot of fun tonight. I had a lot of people in and a lot of people stuck around, so we must have been interesting tonight. So
I think we peaked over 50 there.
Yeah.
Can you do me one favor before we go off? Can
Sure.
Pull that bar up, lock it in the top position, and hit those chords, and just go do that part that we love the most.
Just that one little
part.
There we go.
Love it.
This thing, people that have never played one of these, you just don't understand how fun this thing is just to sit here and just do all this stuff, man. So, it's just
it's different.
It's addictive, I gotta say though, this is my favorite lick. We'll kind of end the show with this, or my favorite kind of tune. Appreciate you coming, everybody in the chat. We got Zach, Ryan Hall,
man.
Robert Ranford, Stephen Franklin, Jay, Timothy Lay. Welcome in
Good to see
and
you.
goodbye. Laz, Jeff,
see you too,
Robert,
Jeff.
Bent Tom, Mikey Mojo, Bryce, everybody. Appreciate you coming out. We'll see everybody next time. So, cheers.
Cheers, guys.